With the big news coming in right now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi set to address the nation at 8 p.m. Stay tuned. That's going to be our big story. This is going to be the first message, remember. The first address by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Operation Sindoor. Till now, Prime Minister, of course, was consistently in key huddles and meetings, constantly was tracking operation details. But after chairing the key meeting a few hours ago at his residence 7 LKM, first message, the first address to the nation from Prime Minister Modi at 8 p.m. Now, who was in that high-level meeting? Images on your screen. NSA, CDS, Tri-Services Chief attended the meeting. Raksha Mantri, External Affairs Minister also were part of that meeting. Remember, the briefings have been made consistently, daily, over the next few hours, also likely that will continue. But because in the past few days, especially since the day one of the strike, at the terror targets, then the military targets, what will be a part of Prime Minister Modi's address to the nation? So that's the big news coming in right now. We are being joined by our managing editor Gaurav Sawant, reporters on the ground, Shreya Chatterjee, Piyush Mishra as well. First to you, Gaurav, as you join me, the first address to the nation coming in from Prime Minister Modi at 10 p.m. What is, according to your understanding, that will be a part of this address?
The Prime Minister perhaps will address the nation about why Operation Sindoor was required and the fact that India, being a peaceful nation, had to target terror at source because despite our repeated requests to Pakistan, despite India handing over multiple dossiers to Pakistan, unfortunately, governments in Pakistan did not take any action against terror. Prime Minister Narendra Modi in 2014, when he was sworn in as Prime Minister for the first time, he had invited all the SAARC heads of states and government to his swearing in because the aim was to build and take this region forward together. And then Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif had also come to India. There'd just been an attack on an Indian consulate in Afghanistan in 2014. And despite that, India's effort was, let's move forward together. Let's take this region together, benefit from India. And every action taken by Prime Minister Narendra Modi was for the benefit of the region, whether it was a satellite that would benefit the region, whether it was connectivity, energy, oil, water. Entire focus was we will take this region together. It was only held back by Pakistan state-sponsored radical Islamist terror. We've bled considerably. You'd recall 2016 when the Pathankot airbase was attacked. The Prime Minister also let Pakistan's ISI come to India and carry out an investigation. They registered a case in a Gujranwala police station in Pakistan, and yet investigations did not happen. Therefore, after Uri, India hit back with a surgical strike. After Pulwama hit back with an airstrike at Balakot, and yet when Pakistan continued to target India through terror, not in the rest of the country, but even in J&K, Pahalgam was the last straw that broke the camel's back, so to say. And especially when those terrorists, unfortunately, when that widow, after her husband was killed, when she said, "Mujhe bhi maar do," he said, "Nahi, jaake Modi ko bolo." So what was the Prime Minister's response and the government of India's response or the armed forces' response? Why that action against terror followed? Perhaps we will hear India's explanation on being a peaceful country, and yet the philosophy of our nation, Shakti se Shanti, Air Marshal Bharti, DG Air spoke of Ramcharit Manas, Bhai Bin Hoj Na Preet. It's also what Rashtrakavi Ramdhari Singh Dinkar said. Shar mein hi basti hai deepti vinay ki. Strength comes when you are strong. The weak can never either forgive or be friends. When you're strong, people will want to be friends with you.
Poetry in our scriptures as message clearly, even, remember, centuries later, is being quoted for a reason. Gaurav, please stay on with me. Shreya Chatterjee, Piyush Mishra also joins us. Piyush, you've been literally posted right outside 7 LKM for days, tracking all these huddles and meetings. You've been tracking the high-level meetings that have taken place, the briefings that have been on. Tell me, at about 8 p.m., what are we expecting as Prime Minister Modi's address?
Well, Pooja, it's going to be a very big briefing by Prime Minister. He's going to address the nation, and this is the first big address coming in from Prime Minister after the successful Operation Sindoor. Remember that Prime Minister in the past more than 2 weeks has held multiple meetings. According to official data available with us, more than 25 top-level meetings have been chaired by PM Narendra Modi. And today in the morning itself, he was there with a meeting in which Tri-Services Chief were present. Rajnath Singh was there, S. Shankar, NSC Ajit Doval, and other officials were also present. And remember that after that high-level meeting, he also chaired a meeting with NSC Ajit Doval and with Indian Air Force Chief Air Marshal AP Singh. So multiple meetings Prime Minister has chaired, and he himself has been personally monitoring each and every development. And when operations were being carried out, at that time also Prime Minister, looked into the operations throughout the night. He was being continuously briefed by NSC Ajit Doval. So after the successful Operation Sindoor, and also after giving a befitting reply to Pakistan, where we have not only hit the terror targets in Pakistan, but also the military installations, air bases have been hit and damaged. After the kind of strong actions which we have taken against Pakistan, Prime Minister is going to address the nation. Certainly, it is going to focus most likely on the India's achievements. Remember that there are multiple points on which we have achieved, because this time we'll not only have achieved this, but we also rule the skies. We know how to defend ourselves. We know each and everything, and Pakistan also knows our capability. So after that big operation, now Prime Minister is going to address the nation and tell the nation about India's capability.
All right, Piyush, stay on with me. Shreya also continues to be with us. Also, Sandeep Unithan joins me. Sandeep, of course, there will be a lot of people curious to see what does Prime Minister Modi finally say. What is that message addressed to the nation? Do you think the focus will be on the achievements of Operation Sindoor, and in many ways to allay any concerns that people of India had that should we have gone ahead? Do you think that could be a message that could come in from Prime Minister Modi?
Absolutely. I feel that yesterday you got the tactical messages from the military, DGMOs, Air Force, Navy and Army. And today you're likely to get the strategic message from Prime Minister Modi. And today is Budh Purnima. I must tell you this, that Budh Purnima is very important when it comes to India's strategic history. In the past, you had 11th of May 1998, when Prime Minister Vajpayee tested nuclear weapons. He ordered the nuclear weapon test. That was a very, very big step. And today is Budh Purnima again. You're going to hear from Prime Minister Modi talking about how India was not deterred by Pakistan's nuclear weapons-enabled terrorism. Something that India has had to reckon with for 27 years after Pakistan nuclearized itself, used terrorism as an instrument of state policy and protected that terrorism with nuclear weapons. So I think we are going to see the big message here, the big picture painted by Prime Minister Modi, talking not only about Pakistan and terrorism, but a message beyond that, that India's battle essentially is not with the people of Pakistan, it is with terrorism. And look at the way we've targeted terrorism in Pakistan. We've hit only the terrorist infrastructure.
Absolutely.
The military was called in to strike at the Pakistan Air Force only after the Pakistan Air Force struck back at us in several waves. And it is only then that the Indian military targeted the Pakistan military, the Army and the Air Force in 2 waves. And the most unprecedented airstrikes ordered against Pakistan, possibly in India's history, post-1947. And there's a small little anecdote that I picked up on why 11 air bases were selected, why 11 targets. And I went back to the 1971 preemptive strikes ordered by the Pakistan Air Force against Indian targets. On the 3rd of December 1971, Pakistan attacked 11 Indian air bases from Jammu and Kashmir right down to Bhuj in Gujarat. That number 11 was significant. That operation was called Operation Changes Khan. And today, I think the Indian Air Force has given a response to that Operation Changes Khan 54 years later. These are the largest operations launched by the Indian Air Force in a single day across 3,000 kilometers. The Indian Air Force has come of age, but of course, you will hear more about India's role in the world today. India, the land of not only Gautam Buddha, but also Shivaji and Maharana Pratap. You're going to hear some of that from Prime Minister Modi today.
And Bhagwan Ram from the anecdotes and the poetry that was quoted by the military as well.
The land of warriors, the land of sages, and the land of warrior sages.
And who've always wanted peace, but they have also responded in self-defense as and when required. Sandeep, you made a very interesting point about Budh Purnima. Is it just a coincidence that Prime Minister Modi is set to address the nation tonight on that day? But we'll, of course, know from what the speech says. Stay on with me, because I want to bring in Shreya as well. Shreya, at a moment like this, the last time that we heard Prime Minister Modi was in the aftermath of the Pahalgam massacre, constantly reassuring the people, because there was this patience running out amid public. And he, with Home Minister Amit Shah, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, kept assuring, be rest assured, we will go after the planners and backers of terror, and of course, with regard to military targets as well. Now we'll hear Prime Minister Modi on one, why Operation Sindoor, how was it organized, and the achievements that Indians must be proud of from it.
There's no denial that the messaging will be around that, but be rest assured that this message is not just for the nation but the global community. And that's exactly why I agree with what Sandeep just suggested. I'm outside 7LKM right now, and when we actually got the news, a lot of us also aligned it with the fact that it is not a mere coincidence that he chose to speak on a day when it is Budh Purnima, and also because the DGMO level talks are over. The reason being so that the message to the global community is likely to be clear that India does not mean war. This is something that has been forced upon us. So that is probably going to be the line of message to the global community, to the nation. It will be on the lines that be rest assured, we will continue to deal Pakistan with iron hands, because we have now also changed our doctrine so far as dealing with how we see a war. From now on, any act of terrorism will be seen as an act of war. So double messaging, one to the nation and the other to the global community.
Just stay on with me. Sandeep, I have one more question here. The question is that also we must have noticed how Prime Minister Modi let the military speak first. He is, after all, leader of the country. He could have made the first address. He let the operational details, the victory aspect of it, the ammunition aspect of it come through the military. Because he had also said, I give complete operational freedom for timing, mode, target to the armed forces. And we've seen that performance come in. And now he's deciding to come forth and make that address.
He's doing what every great leader does. He empowers his subordinates, and in this case, it is the Defence Ministry, it's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, it is the service chiefs, because the military option was exercised by the military. These are matters best handled by the military. The Prime Minister gave them, full freedom to prosecute the military operations as they thought fit, and the Armed Forces have done a fantastic job. And if you see the briefing, it's one of the best briefings, I would think, in recent years, where they're very clinically, directly analyzed all of this. But, Pooja, the biggest risk taker here in this whole game was the Prime Minister. He's taken one of the biggest risks in his political career. And I'll tell you why. Because attacking another nuclear-armed state, even one that encourages terrorism the way Pakistan has, doing it all by yourself, no other country has done this in the past. Pakistan is the only country to have enabled nuclear weapons, enabled terrorism, and of course, bled India with 1,000 cuts. But Prime Minister Modi has taken that risk. He's empowered the Air Force to strike at all of these targets. And, I'll give you a small example of how difficult it was, Pooja. The fact is that, the NSG, the National Security Guard, have something called a Rubaya target. Their commandos are among the best sharpshooters in the country. They're trained on something called the Rubaya target, which is basically a terrorist holding a hostage. The commandos are asked to shoot only the terrorists, of course. And this is what they do very well. I would think that this Operation Sindoor, was something like that Rubaya target shooting, where you had to strike only at the terrorists, not allowing for any civilian collateral. That's exactly how complicated this operation was, which is what they did on the first day.
And it speaks highly of India. The distress, the anger that we had after Pahalgam massacre, in fact, after any terror attack on our civilians, and yet for a professional army and a democracy to decide that we will teach a lesson to Pakistan, but only with their terror targets, if required, like we saw this time in response to the military targets, but to avoid people as much, even though they were still targeting our civilians along the line of control.
Absolutely, Pooja. That is what we are. This is what we do. We do not, our enmity is not with the people of Pakistan. It is with the terrorists, and it is with their state sponsors, in this case, the Pakistan military. If you look at it, the Pakistan Air Force briefing, that was on attacking the Indian Air Force, which was taking out terror targets inside Pakistan. What are they going to go and tell their children?
True.
That we were shooting at an Air Force that was striking at terrorist
Shooting at
targets?
civilians.
Shooting at civilians? I mean, this is the kind of, war that the Pakistan military has always fought since 1947 in Jammu and Kashmir. The atrocities that have been unleashed in 47, in 1965, 71 in East Pakistan, later Bangladesh. This is the Pakistan military's way of war.
And no humility. I noticed this desperation to claim victory that is coming in, when in fact it is India and Indian military that have managed to hit where it hurts.